Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Kevin, and in today's video we're gonna talk about the most underrated dieting tips to help you succeed. Now honestly, not all of these are underrated, and some of them are actually very well known, but I had to get that title in, if I'm being honest. But I just want to mix in a couple underrated and a couple known dieting tips to help you guys succeed. So if you guys are new around here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into it. Alright, now for this first one, I feel like this is pretty known, but dieters don't do it enough, and that is to take diet breaks. Now you might be thinking, Kevin, isn't it counterintuitive to take diet breaks when in reality you should be dieting? And honestly, no. Because dieting is more of a mental game, in my opinion, than a physical game like bulking. So because of that, you guys need to take diet breaks every once in a while. Now, I forgot when I was dieting how often I would take a diet break. I think it was around every month when I got super serious and deep into my cut. I think it was like every month, but it also depends on like where you are and where you're starting. So if you have a higher body fat count, then you shouldn't take diet breaks as often, because you're really not going to need it at that point, because you're already going to be feeling pretty good because you have that fat on your body from a biological standpoint. But the lower your body fat is, the more often you guys should take diet breaks. Now again, going back to the diet breaks, you guys should take them because dieting is a mental game, and if you continue to exhaust yourself and ruin your mental health, you're just going to start binge eating, and you're going to develop a binge food eating disorder. And believe me, I've been through those,
and they are not pretty whatsoever.
So yeah, you guys should take diet breaks around once every month, I would say, if you're getting pretty deep into your cut. Now, how to take the diet breaks? Honestly, I just followed Andy Morgan's way of diet breaking. I think it was a week to 2 weeks of basically not tracking your food and eating whatever you want. Now obviously, proceed with caution. Don't just go and eat anything you want, but the whole point is to have that freedom, because once you have that freedom, you're gonna realize that you can eat pretty much whatever you want at that moment. And once you have that mentality in your head, you're not gonna want to eat as much anyway, because you're like, yeah, whenever I want I can just eat this or that. And again, the whole purpose is to have a mental break. So yeah, that's pretty much how to take a diet break and why to take a diet break. Now moving swiftly along, we got drinking a ton of water before each meal. Now this one is super good, and honestly I do believe this one's underrated. Because the thing is, if you're dieting and you're always constantly hungry, drink like literally half to an entire water bottle before each meal, and then start eating that meal, and you'll see that you get full a lot quicker, and more likely you're gonna stay full for longer. Now even with that being said, sometimes when you are dieting, you might think that you're hungry, but in reality you're just thirsty. Now I don't know if this is like supposed to be a different tip or if it kind of goes in with this, but I'm just gonna mix the two. So yeah, basically drink water before your meals, and also if you think you're really hungry, try drinking a lot of water and then reanalyzing if you're still hungry, because again, sometimes you might just be thirsty, and you might think I'm crazy for saying this, but just try it. Alright, next up, we got evenly spacing out your meals. Now I can't emphasize how important this is, because let's say you can eat like 2,000 calories or something, right? Or like 1,500 calories or whatever. If you're eating most of your calories in the morning, then what's going to be left for the evening and night? Nothing. So you're literally gonna starve. A better idea would be to space out your calories and space out your meals throughout the day, so you're constantly full and you don't have to worry about getting hungry as often. Now me personally, when I was dieting, I'm currently bulking, but I still do this as well, and that was basically, I would fast in the mornings. This is another tip if you guys would like it, but I fast in the mornings, and then after I eat my first meal, basically, I have my meal increments in increments of around 2 to 3 hours, I want to say. So basically I would eat a meal, and then 2 to 3 hours later I would eat another meal, and then 2 to 3 hours later I would eat another meal. And this is what I would do, and that's what worked for me. So if you guys think it would work for you, try it out. But yeah, I would also fast in the mornings, because I just noticed that in the mornings I'm not really that hungry, and at the night I'm super hungry. So that's why I would fast in the mornings. But yeah, try these things out and see if they work for you. Next up, we got eating protein first, before your carbs and before your fats. Now the reason I say this is because protein is gonna fill you up more than any other macronutrient. So that's why I say you guys should eat your protein first, and then I guess you should eat your carbs, so your veggies, your rice, your potatoes, whatever you're eating, and then after that you can eat your fat, like whatever that may be. I mean, if you cooked your food in olive oil or something, then your fat's already going to be included, so I guess whatever. But yeah, you guys should probably tend to eat your protein first in your meals, and then move on to your carbs, and then you'll see that you get fuller quicker. Next up, we got eating slower. Now this one doesn't even have to do with dieting, but basically all eating in life. You should eat slower, because 1, you're going to digest the food better, and 2, you're gonna get full faster. Because I think I heard somewhere, maybe I'll try to put an article up or something if I remember, or if I find something, but I think it takes like 20 minutes or something like that for basically your brain to send out the signal like,
hey, I'm full, stop eating.
So that's why when you're very hungry and when you're starting to eat, you can basically chow down and eat super fast, because your brain doesn't send that signal fast enough. So if you take your time and you eat slower, not only will you digest your food better, but you'll also get full faster. So maybe if you do get full faster, you can basically keep your leftover food that you didn't finish. If you're already full, you can put that for later in the day. Maybe you'll get hungrier later in the day, and then you can save those calories for later. Okay, now this one is more of a mental thing than like a straight up like dieting and food thing, but that is to keep yourself busy. Now I think this goes with anything in life, not just eating, but I feel like everyone has a bit of ADHD in them, and everyone's constantly looking for something to do and some way to feel good, because that's just how the human mind works, right? You're always constantly seeking something. So even a little bit of discomfort is enough to get you to be like, okay, let's just start eating. So obviously that's not going to help you with your diet. So just keep yourself busy. I don't know, go play a sport, go exercise, go do some homework, even go play video games. Just do something to keep yourself busy. Obviously, if you can do something productive, do that instead. I just named video games because that's something that helped me a lot. But obviously, you don't have to. Go journal, go meditate, whatever it may be. Just keep yourself busy so that you're not constantly always thinking about food. Next up, we got eating whole foods. Now what I mean by this is basically, if you see you're getting very hungry during a diet, instead of making like a protein powder shake or eating protein powder, try to eat a whole food like chicken or beef or something like that, because that's going to keep you fuller longer. And also another great tip along with this is to not drink your calories, because it's such a waste of calories, and honestly you're going to get a lot more hungry. Just drink water. It's gonna help you more than anything. And instead of drinking something like, I don't know, like a Coke or orange juice or something like that, put those calories into actual whole foods that'll keep you full for longer. And the next thing I wanted to say, which basically relates to my previous point, is to eat low calorie and satiating foods while you're dieting. So basically, one food in particular that has a very high satiety index is potatoes. So try to include potatoes in your diet, and also try to eat veggies. So make yourself a super big salad that you can just constantly eat and eat and eat and get yourself more full without having to basically use up most of your calories. So if you're hungry, don't make yourself like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, because that's going to be a crap ton of calories and it's really not going to keep you that full. Or don't eat something like cereal if you're cutting. That's something that you could eat if you're bulking, or you should anyway. I'm not saying you can't, but I mean, in terms of making your dieting life easier, it's not really gonna work out. So yeah, try to eat low calorie and satiating foods to keep yourself full while also having a lot of calories at your disposal. Alright, I have to pull out the glasses for this one because this one's super important, and that is to pay attention to how full you are. Bro, pay attention to how full you are, okay? If you know you're full, stop eating. Save those calories for later on in the day when you're actually hungry. The thing is, as humans, if the food is good enough, we'll create a second stomach. We literally will. Or what you call like a dessert stomach. But the thing is, this isn't really that good and beneficial for dieting, because if you're eating all this food, even when you're not actually hungry, what's the point? You're just gonna make your life harder later on in a couple hours when you actually are hungry, but you don't have enough calories to make you full. So basically, just pay attention to how full you are, and if you're not full, keep eating. And if you are full, stop eating. Okay people, and last up, we got to try high and low days in terms of the calories you eat in a day of dieting. Now basically what I mean by this is, most people, they set a calorie target and they basically just eat that calorie target every day. The same thing, whether it's like 1500 or 2000 calories. And this can work for some people. And I mean, I'm an example of that. I literally did this and it was fine. But I'm just saying, it might get a little bit boring to you and you might start to fall off. So what you could do is have high and low days. So let's say you have to eat 1500 calories a day, right? Well, we do love the ambulances. But anyways, as I was saying, so let's say you can eat 1500 calories a day, right? Or that's your goal or target or whatever. You can have a low day where let's say you eat, I don't know, maybe like 1200 calories or something like that. Or I guess that's very low. So let's say you can eat 2000 calories a day, right? Let's say you have a low day and you eat 1500 calories on that day. Like, yeah, maybe that day's gonna be super hard, but then the next day you get to eat 2500 calories, which is insane. And I feel like that's gonna help you a lot mentally, and it's also gonna be a little bit fun because one day you're gonna be eating less and one day you're gonna be eating more. So the monotony level of your diet is gonna go down. Monotony level, whatever that means. I think that's the thing. I hope that's the thing. If not, I just made something up. But yeah, so you can have low and high calorie days so that you do not get bored of your diet as quickly. And again, this might be annoying to you because then you have to be like, okay, well, one day I'm eating this and one day I'm eating that. And you might just be lazy. And honestly, I was lazy and I'd rather just eat the same calories every day. It's a lot easier. It's a lot more straightforward. I don't have to do as much work. And there is that side of it too. So just try it and see if it works for you. If you really need it, then do high and low days. But don't just randomly implement high and low days if you don't really need it, in my opinion. But yeah, people, that essentially wraps up this video. And that's gonna do it for some underrated dieting tips that you guys should implement into your diets to help you succeed. If you guys have any questions or anything that you need clarifying for, just drop it down in the comments and I'll be happy to answer your questions. But besides that, that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys are new around here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I am out. Peace!